Hello, and welcome to Craft Sisters Conspiracies. We're a podcast that covers conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all of our spooky shit. My name is Jackie,
And I'm Cassandra.
and we are Set Sisters.
Hello.
Hello again.
Hello again. We tried this a few days ago and I was crashing the fuck out. So
Yeah, you seemed not in a great mood, and I felt like I was just talking to myself because the delay from your internet was so bad. I'm like, I don't know if she heard anything I just said, but I'm like,
and then I could hear you fine, but then
oh,
I would like ask questions and then you would keep talking and then you'd pause and then you'd
uh,
a answer the question, but you had already moved on in the conversation.
yeah,
But
stop.
yes, we had the Spectrum guy come out. There was a loose connection that
Oh,
suddenly made the internet basically stop working for a few minutes at a time every, few minutes. It was infuriating. And I was working from home, so I
yeah.
was doing work from my cell phone because my computer wasn't working. And it
That
was
was
just
Alex's question. He's like, well, how can she be working from home? I'm like, I don't know, but it doesn't sound like I'm going great.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, like, everything would work fine. It would go out at like 10:30, and then it would come
Hmm.
back on 5 minutes later, and then it would be fine until like 1:30, and then it would come
Oh.
back on 5 minutes later, and then it would go out at like 3:20, and I like need to work until 4. So I have everything on my cell phone as well, all my applications.
Hmm.
It was very frustrating, but I'm back in the office now, so.
Just quick.
It was quick. I mean, it not fully done, but like the construction is done, but things
Okay.
still, there's a few things that need to be installed still and some decor, like it needs life. But it's smaller now and I don't like it. I mean,
Oh,
it looks fine. I'm sure it'll look better when it's all like finished, but it's
yeah.
less grandiose now. So,
Oh,
but it's all
that's
good.
boring.
And I was getting used to working from home. I really like it
And it's
after a
nice.
while. And so might have to like work in a 1 day a week kind of thing.
It's a good compromise.
Yeah. What's new with you?
Oh, let's see. So I got food poisoning for the first time in my life.
How was that?
Not great. So we went to my brother and sister-in-law's house because they're moving. And so we're like, let's have like one last like hurrah at your guys' house. We'll spend the night. So we're all hanging out. It's great. We all go to bed at like midnight. And I wake up at 3 in the morning and I'm like, wow, I don't feel good. Like my stomach was cramping so badly. I'm like, this is weird. So like I go into the bathroom and then I get the cold sweats. And then I'm
Oh,
like, oh, am I gonna pass out? And I've had
an
that before.
episode.
And then
Yeah.
so I'm like shitting my brains out. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna throw up. And I'm
Oh
like, I'm
no.
I'm gonna throw up. So then I start throwing up. They had a trash can with a liner in it. And because I'm just out both ends, man. And I'm like, wow, this fucking sucks. So I'm in the bathroom for probably 45 minutes before I can like get off the toilet. And then so I go into the bedroom and I wake up Alex. I'm like, something is wrong. I think I have food poisoning. And he's like, totally asleep. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, when you used to wake up dad,
Oh my
like he's
God.
just in like panic. But I'm like, just shut up. I don't feel good. And he's like, I'm sorry. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I don't know. Then I'm like, I'm just gonna go hang out in the bathroom. So I was there for like another maybe hour and a half. And I brought a pillow with me and I was just like lying on the floor because
Oh
it
yeah.
felt good.
Uh-huh.
And then just back and forth of vomiting out of my front and my back.
Oh my
And
God.
then so finally I'm like, I want to go home. And he's like, it's an hour drive. We can't go home
You're
until
not
you're
stable.
confident that you can hold in your liquids for an hour. And I'm like, that's torture. So I like made myself sit in the bathroom and I timed it and I only vomited once. And after 45 minutes, I'm like, I want to go home. I'm like, I'm stealing your trash can and we're going home. So I stole their trash can and we packed up the car. We only had to pull over once so I can vomit my brains out.
Okay.
But I did successfully make it home. And because we had like this giant feast at dinner. So I thought maybe that's it. But no one else was up in the house.
Yeah.
And so like Alex is like going over and I'm like, I didn't have anything else. I just had breakfast and I put cheese on my eggs. And he's like, was it the moldy cheese in the fridge? I go, well, I didn't expect it. And he's like, it was covered in mold. I'm like, then why did you put it back in the fridge?
Amazing question. So really, this is his fault.
But to be fair, I'm like, just pick around it. Like, I'm a very expiration dates are suggestions, and he's
Sure.
very, he'll throw it out the day before it expires. Like, never had an issue until now. Now I'm terrified to eat anything. Not that I've had an appetite. I've had like maybe 17 calories in the past 4 days, but otherwise, doing great.
I bet you're feeling really skinny.
Right. And I have to go to work the next day.
Oh no.
Try to call out, and she's like, I'm so sorry, no one is available. I'm like, cool. We'll see how this goes. Thankfully, it was all right. But yeah, it was just, I would not recommend. So definitely check your cheese before you eat it.
Noted. Okay.
What's new in you?
Um, Nothing yet. We're in limbo trying to
Mm.
sell our house and buy another house because there's multiple parties involved, but I'm cautiously optimistic that something will happen soon because I'm going out of my mind. And it's funny because like once your mindset shifts about something, like
Mhm.
I know exactly when the change happened. But like
Yeah,
we bought this house. I have loved this house. This has
you
been
have.
such a great first house. It's cute. It's been perfect for us. And as soon as we're like serious about leaving, I hate everything about this house. It is suddenly too small. The walls are closing in, and I
Hmm.
love my family, but I'm gonna murder every single one of them because I cannot turn around without running into a dog, a cat, or a human. And
Oh
it's
my
I need
gosh.
space. So that it was really nice working from home in the sense that I was home alone. Like there was no one
Yeah,
else around me. Like
I'm
it was
sure that was
funny 'cause I
good.
was thinking about COVID days and I had the option to work from home, but I chose to go to
Oh.
the office because we were all going to be in the house together and I
Hmm.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But when I'm alone, it's great. So I
Well,
need a
I hope it
dedicated.
works out for you. I'm sure
Thank
you'll
you.
get something relatively soon. You just need one piece, I think, and then everything else should like fall into place.
Exactly. So I'm putting it out there. What is it? The law of attraction, projecting my wants and needs,
Manifesting is the word you're looking
manifesting. That's it. Okay.
for. Okay. Also, happy Mother's Day. This episode comes out on Tuesday, and Mother's Day was Sunday, but
That's right. Happy
whatever.
Mother's
Happy
Day.
Mother's Day. I did get mom and dad the Wii, or the
You
not the. I keep calling it the fucking Wii. The snitch.
this
Nintendo Switch. Fuck.
you did?
I did. So Alex and I bought them one. We downloaded Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, and like we got the yeah. That's not words. We have the like family expansion pack, so we
Oh,
just put them on his like paid thing because it doesn't cost really anything. And then we downloaded like the Nintendo 64 original games. Not that they're gonna want to play any
oh,
of
but
them,
they might.
right? And then technically it has the original Mario party on it. Because the one we all play is like $60. And I'm like, if you guys want it, you can pay for it. Otherwise, we can play this one for free. So
Yeah,
you're gonna have to watch some YouTube videos on how to use said Switch, but I think it'll be
sure.
fun for them.
Okay, that will be fun.
And then we were really tempted because I got them the one with the gray consoles or the
Oh,
gray Joy-Cons. And
yeah,
Alex is like, can we just take theirs and give because we have the blue and red one and I hate it.
yeah.
But and I was going to because they wouldn't have known the difference. But when Archer was a puppy, he got into Alex's Switch and he chewed on one of the Joy-Cons and it has his little puppy teeth like prints in. And I'm like, we can't give it away. So now we're stuck with the ugly ass colors, but whatever.
I know that was we bought a black one to go with the blue because we didn't
Yeah.
want red. I'm like, fuck that shit. I hate that
Yeah.
color. Even though it's in my palette, my season. But
Same. Anyway, do
anyway,
you remember what my topic was?
let me think back on the conversation, and all of the intermittent pausing. What was it? It's some birds related. Pigeons, birds aren't real. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. So it's
Okay.
pigeons, birds are secret spies.
There you go. Okay. So
There it
halfway
is.
there.
Today we will be discussing the very real CIA avian programs. There is more than one, and how CIA members used winged creatures in order to spy on people and get top secret information.
Okay, hold on, pause. You said winged creatures. Is this only birds or are there other things?
Oh no, I'm sorry. It is only birds, but there's different species of
Okay,
birds that
just
I know of. Who
got
fucking
it.
knows?
Because my mind went to like bats and other things suddenly.
Oh, they did also use cats and I think like an alligator or something at some point, but this is only specific avian related.
Birds, got it. Okay.
Okay. So we're going to jump back to the 1970s. We are smack dab in the middle of the Cold War, which, as I explained last time, I had no idea what that was. It is not an actual war. It is just a very intense period of time between us and the Soviet Union.
Yes.
So there were lots of rivalries during this time, including the space race, propaganda campaigns, and espionage, aka spying.
hmm
So because neither the US nor the Soviet Union wanted to actually like tip the scale and go into a full-blown war, they were like, we're just gonna be like super secretive and like do whatever we can on each side to like fuck with the other people, but not bring this into a total world war.
Okay.
So, spying or espionage was actually a very big part of that plan. And specifically, they wanted to figure out each other's military strengths, nuclear capabilities, and political plans.
Sure.
So, the US, in order to do this, they used the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, and then the Soviet Union or the Russians, they used the KGB, which stands for something in Russian. So, I don't fucking know. So on May 14th, 1976, a memo number 154-76 went out within the CIA, and the subject was the Takana program.
Okay.
So this memo was classified up until its release on July 30th, 2019. So it was only released a few years ago. In this memo, the writer referenced a conversation that he or she had had with someone named Mr. Don Reiser, who was a senior official within the CIA's Office of Research and Development.
Okay.
The memo's main focus was on both clandestine acclimatization and flight behavior.
Mm.
What is acclimatization, you might be asking?
Sure.
So it refers to the secret or covert preparing of troops in order to do operations in extreme conditions. So
Okay.
this could be extreme temperatures, altitudes, anything like that.
Just okay. Got it.
Typically, it's got to be done stealthily because it's for some military purpose usually. And so, based on the information given thus far, one could assume this memo is an internal memo from the CIA saying, "Hey, we need to get some human troops, and we're
Mhm.
gonna need to either fly them somewhere or have them go somewhere with extreme temperatures."
Okay. Yeah.
However, if you keep scrolling, in the memo subsection B, it reads as follows, quote, some suggestions for the accomplishment of this are one, move 10 to 12 additional birds from California to Oklahoma for collateral training. Two, move 10 to 12 birds from California to North Carolina for acclimatization of redacted.
Mhm.
And three, move 4 to 6 birds from Oklahoma to California for acclimatization, thereby redacted personnel. End quote. You had mentioned last time you thought maybe birds was
Code word.
a code
Yeah.
word. And so it's a CIA memo. It was redacted originally, so it could very well be. The bottom of it said that the testing period of whatever this is needed to be completed by June 25th, 1976.
Okay.
And the operation at that point would be reevaluated and they would see if it was worth moving forward with or if they were just going to trash it. So the goal of the Takana program was to find a species of birds. So it was not a code word. They literally were talking about flying birds. They wanted to train said birds to fly a specific flight path, stay between specific altitudes so they didn't blow up, and then return back to wherever their home base was in order to spy on the Russians.
Okay.
So in modern times, this might sound fucking crazy, but you have to kind of think back to the 1970s. They didn't have drones.
No.
Satellites were in their infancy. And usually they would use like helicopters or a plane for this, but you have to get down so low in order to get video or audio or pictures. So obviously the enemy would be able to spot you immediately. So they needed a stealthier way to do this.
And homing pigeons it is.
So someone came up with fucking pigeons.
I mean, they're
So
like no one would bat an eye seeing a pigeon.
they wouldn't. And that's one of the reasons why they chose them. They're in every single major city in the
True.
US. No one knows how they got there. And I'm sure probably not, also not in the US.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. So no one, yeah, exactly. No one would bat an eye if they saw a pigeon just flying around doing its thing.
Right.
So why pigeons? So pigeons have homing instincts, which means they naturally will return back to whatever they have deemed as home. They appear in populated areas and they can somewhat be trained. They fly long distances for the most part, and they're capable of carrying small packages or objects, depending on the weight.
Okay.
So by September of 1976, the CIA had already invested $100,000 in not just training said pigeons, but in designing little harnesses and cameras that were strapped to their chest to turn them into a pigeon GoPro. And I
I
will
don't
put a picture here.
suppose you adjusted that number for inflation, did you? I'm just
I
curious.
didn't. You can
Oh,
do that. I don't know how to do that. So what's
what year was it?
$100,000? 1976.
Okay, let's see. 1976. So inflation calculator. I love looking at inflation calculators. It's so fun to me. Okay, so in 1976, I purchased an item for $100,000. And in 2026, that would be the equivalent of $580,000 in change. Okay, so I mean, to a normal person, that's a lot of money, but this is a government project, so that is a drop in the bucket. Like, got it. Okay.
So, the GoPros that the pigeons were wearing were of amazing quality. At the time, the CIA had American spy satellite called Gambit 3, which was able to capture an image as small as 4 inches squared. But
Mhm.
this bird GoPro was able to capture an image of 3/4 of an inch.
Which
So they
is
were really
insanely,
fucking good
yeah,
cameras, especially for the 70s. I can't even imagine what they have now.
right? Like you can see into the pores of,
Yeah, you
someone's
can see
face.
into the person, like it's an X-ray.
Oh God. And yeah, the last time we had gone through this, because this is version 2.0, I did look at the pictures
Yes,
and the outfits are adorable.
they are.
Um, and it reminded me kind of a tangent, but I have this fascination with taxidermied animals. But dressed in super cute costumes and in weird positions. And so, like, when I first saw that, my initial thought was, I would love one of those on display, like a pigeon wearing the little, like, hat.
Have a
I do
stuffed
not.
animal somewhere, right? Okay.
I do not, but I told Evan, I'm like, one of the things on my bucket list, I want to go to like an oddities expo or an oddities
Oh yeah.
store. I want to start collecting cute, weird taxidermied things.
Oh,
You know what? He was more supportive in his replies.
that's good. There's a bar here that you would love. It's in Rio Vista, which is
Mhm.
just a town. And I don't remember the name of it. You walk in and it's literally the walls it's a bar and then it like morphs into a restaurant. The entire walls are stuffed animals that the two owners like hunted and killed. And they were exotic like Africa
Oh,
hunter poachers, I think is the word for it.
poachers, yes.
A little not okay. There's like elephants and like a giraffe and wild fucking animals in the entire wall. And I'm like, I want to eat here, but the food was really good.
I'm horrified. We took Grayson to get her ears pierced like a week or two ago, and we went to Will's shop, First Amendment.
Uh-huh.
And it's where I usually get my tattoos done. And he has a bunch of like taxidermied stuff in the front of the shop. So he's got like a taxidermied shark up there. But one of the things that he has, it's a rat, it's a stripper, like on a stripper pole. It's in little heels and it has six nipples that are each covered with tassels and there's little mini dollar bills. And I saw it and I fell in love with it. And I'm like, I want something like that.
It's funny. We'll allow that, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's the kind of weird shit. Like, I don't just want random stuffed dead animals. Like, they
Like,
have,
oh, you have a birthday. You come at some point. I'm
I
just gonna
know, like,
run something over.
I would not be opposed to some weird ass shit, especially since we're moving and I get to reinvent the house and create space for me. So,
Yeah. So your walls are gonna be lined with your taxidermy animals. Oh,
oh, hold on. Sorry,
oh,
one more weird tangent.
yes.
You're gonna think my daughter is a
Too late.
crazy person.
Too late.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you remember how like a month or two ago I accidentally killed that hummingbird with my truck?
Literally just showed someone my innocence. And they cried too.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, so Grayson didn't want to get rid of it, but I'm like, I'm not burying this fucking bird. So she
But
like
you yeeted it.
we yeeted it.
Uh-huh.
We were doing yard work this last weekend, and I was letting her go to town, like pruning the bushes and shit. And she's like, "Oh my God, the bird's still here. Oh my God, you can start to see its bones because it's decomposing. How cool is this?" So now the bird is in a box in the backyard because she wants to watch the stages of decomposition naturally in the
I bit more like Dexter. And
and I'm like, I'm gonna have
did.
I know, and I told her I'm gonna have to tell Auntie about this. And she just kind of doubled down because now she's doing her science fair project and I got her an
Mm.
owl pellet dissection kit
Yes, I remember that.
for Christmas and so she did it. And so her project this weekend is reconstructing the bones in there, but like this girl is fucking stoked.
You know what you should do is you should get a camera, whether it's a GoPro or something, and you should do a time lapse intro of True Blood when the fox decomposes. You
Yeah.
should do that. Be cool, I guess.
I mean, I do have the bird camera out there, so I can just put it on the
Do.
dead bird instead of the live one. Anyway, okay, we kind of went all
Oh,
around. We did bring it back to birds though.
we
So,
did. It
okay.
stayed in the bird family. So how this operation was supposed to work. So the pigeons were somehow acquired. I don't know if they were a special species of pigeons or if they were just plucked off the street.
Like from New
Uh,
York or
they were
something.
trained. What?
I said like from New York or something.
They were trained to the CIA's version of home base, wherever that was. So that way they knew where they were supposed to return to. The trainers worked with the pigeons to fly further and further distances, again, making sure they always did a loop back around. Once that it was established that they were able to do whatever length of a route and return that they wanted, the pigeon or the cameras were then attached to their chest so they could get used to the weight. And then they would send the pigeon, to do the route of the actual mission that they were supposed to be completing. And how it worked is the cameras on the GoPros, they were set to take automatic photos at a certain interval. So at least the pigeon didn't have to like push a button. They just flew its path and it automatically took
And
pictures.
then you can make like a flip book of like
Right.
the results.
And then, so researchers had to transport the pigeons to the starting location. So
Okay.
that looked a couple different ways. They would put them in like containers and then they would release the containers. Sometimes they would just like carry them with them and release them. And then my favorite is there was a VW slug bug that had a false bottom and it drove by, released the bottom, the pigeons came out, and the car drove away.
How do you think? So they came out of the bottom of the car.
Yes.
How many do you think got run over in the process
I'm gonna
accidentally?
say half.
Okay. Just, I wonder if
I don't know
anyone,
if that was in their training or not to like avoid the wheels.
I mean, how do you learn to avoid it without immediately dying? Like you just watch your feathered brethren?
Yeah, maybe they had like a coliseum,
Okay.
like a pigeon coliseum.
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
like, you guys are gonna watch until someone gets it right.
It's like Japan, how they teach kids to be mindful of cars when crossing the street. They do demonstrations where these little kindergartners come out and they have these like dolls out in the street that are like crossing the street and then they get run over because they're not looking. And so they like scare them that way.
Oh,
Yeah, so maybe it's like a similar principle. I don't know. But anyway.
like pigeons would find their route, return home, researchers would take the cameras, and then collect whatever evidence that they were looking for. So this seemed like a foolproof plan, but it did have some flaws naturally, because even though pigeons were perceptive to training, they were not 100% able to be controlled like a dog or something like that because they're a wild fucking bird
And
and
they
they have
have
little,
two brain cells.
they have very tiny little bird brains.
Yeah.
They also have natural enemies, hawks, falcons, cats, cars.
People,
So
yeah.
died in the process, which they didn't necessarily account for. And then the most specific reason of why this didn't work or end up sticking is because technology was quickly advancing, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we can just like create a drone. We don't need to use a fucking pigeon." And people are like, "But like they did so well, and we have these little pros, but it did not stick, unfortunately."
You know, and ethically, it probably starts to like cross a boundary after a while.
Yeah, it's worth later. Speaking of that, so just remember the movies.
Oh,
So wearing GoPros was not the only part in this avian program. They wanted to utilize a variety of birds, as I mentioned, for a variety of different reasons. So one section, this research or this avian plan, you might be very interested in.
okay.
So this operation allegedly was not documented as an official CIA field program. However, it does resemble different controlled lab style experiments on animal cognition that they were doing at this time.
Okay.
So it is alleged that the CIA trained a raven to deliver and retrieve small objects weighing up to 40 grams
Okay.
from a windowsill of inaccessible buildings
Ooh.
because they wanted, I don't know if they had a mole inside of fucking Russia or what, but they wanted it to be able to go in, maybe drop some information off to an operative, and then the information or the operative could like write a response, or maybe they collected footage, they can return it back via the Raven.
Okay. I made eye contact with the crow today. I cawed at it and it looked at me. It was one of
You
the
called
ones
it
that
a slur.
what?
Called it a slur.
Oh.
Like, you don't know what their language is.
Yeah, it was not an angry look. Okay. I cawed and he was like, "Okay, I see you, lady." But it was at Grayson School, so maybe it's one that I've been talking to. So,
Where was this? How likely are you to continue to see this same pro?
and he was kind of chonky, so I think I've seen him
Hmm.
before. Like I think this
Okay.
is one that I've crossed paths with. So we might be getting somewhere.
Okay, well, you keep me updated on
I
that.
will.
And so if you get successful with it, maybe you can apply to the CIA and be like, this is my training,
Hell
hire
yeah.
me, and I will lead your avian program.
I don't want to work for our current government, but
I
I
don't
could
blame you.
use that knowledge and apply it in other ways.
Sure, there you go. The last CIA project that I'm going to mention is Project Pigeon, which somehow is not the project I just explained to you.
What was the last project called?
There was no official name for it.
Oh,
So now
okay.
it's just calling it Project Pigeon GoPro. I love to name a good project.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so Project Pigeon was developed during World War II, so roughly 1940 to 1944. Quick side note, within the last 2 weeks, have you seen the video of, I guess she's a Minnesota representative named Alon Amar? She was giving like this official press conference, and she's obviously reading from a script, and she read it as World War 11.
Oh no.
Kept going, and I went, see, I meant World War II, and everyone ripped her to fucking shreds.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. First, I want to thank my partner in this, Senator Hirono, for her leadership in this work to repeal the outdated and dangerous Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The last time the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, it was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI. Oh, two. Sorry.
It was great.
I did not see that. That is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Anyway, so the goal of Project Pigeon was to train pigeons to guide bombs and missiles to specific target locations, since the technology at this time was not like 100% effective.
Sure. Okay.
So, how this worked is this dude, psychologist named B.F. Skinner. He's like, let's use pigeons because they're trainable for the most part and they love food. They're very food driven, which
Me
same.
too.
Yeah. So how it works is a pigeon was placed inside of the nose cone of like a missile or projectile. They were like strapped to a little seat. They had like a little harness. I like to like going back to what you like taxidermied. I like to envision a little pigeon in like a fighter pilot outfit, and it's got like little goggles and stuff. So you should maybe try to taxidermy that.
I want a Top Gun pigeon now. That's
But anyways, it's sitting in its seat. It has a little screen in front of it. And the
Okay.
screen is basically just like a window, but it does have technology in it. And so what it does is the pigeons were trained to recognize whatever the target location was. And when they saw the target location, they were supposed to peck the screen, and then they got rewarded with food. As they're in their little seat in the missile, obviously it's guided towards the target location. They see it and they peck. Their pecking is what actually moves the missile itself. So if it starts to get off course, it'll peck in the right direction and the missile will be guided to the target location successfully.
what?
I know. So, in the testing, the experiments in controlled conditions, it had a target tracking accuracy of 80 to 90%,
You know
which
what?
is very good.
That's way more than I would have thought.
While I was doing this research, I'm like, well, what happened at the end?
I'm assuming a bunch of pigeons fucking died, and I'm
So
upset about it.
so cool, and I was so for it until I realized, oh, they're just killing pigeons.
They're like
Sacrificing.
they're kamikaze pigeons and they don't even know it.
So in testing scenarios, obviously the bomb never made it to its location, but it's like, had it, they would have exploded they would have died for their country.
Yes, unfortunately.
So, I don't know why, but this program never got the green light, probably because
You don't say.
radar was being, invented and more specific technology was actually going into it. But military leadership did not fucking like it. They're like, we're not going to put a pigeon to like drop nukes. So they kind of vetoed that. So unfortunately, it did not succeed too well. So knowing all of this, the three projects, this is either the Takana project or just the avian programs.
Yeah.
So no doubt, I do believe birds are real for the most part, but I definitely believe that the CIA, probably to this day, still has some fake fucking birds or something just to spy on, not only the enemies, but everyday Americans. So yeah.
You know what? I can see that. And if I had to guess which type of bird locally it would be, I would say either the mourning doves around here or the hummingbirds. I actually think it's the hummingbirds because they're fucking aggressive as fuck. They get like way up close and in your face. And I'm like, if there's
How many birds do you have?
we have mean hummingbirds. They're bullies.
2 hummingbird feeders, so I can summon them, and they won't even come near my house, let alone me.
Oh my God. I'll be working in the backyard or checking on my caterpillar babies. I get buzzed nonstop by
Oh.
hummingbirds, and they are so fucking loud and they will like hit you and bounce off. And then they'll go and like wash themselves in the fountain and then they'll come back for more. They're assholes.
Well, maybe it's regional because for me, I would say pigeons because where I live, you have to have solar. It came with the house.
Okay.
And pigeons love solar panels, probably because they're recharging their batteries, because they're
Oh,
not real. A lot of people also think that telephone poles, like birds are always perched on telephone poles. They think that's how they recharge.
I like that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
for me, I would say it's pigeons because they're fucking everywhere. But we do have mourning doves as well. But I don't have a lot of hummingbirds, and if we do, they're not aggressive here. So maybe it's regional.
Maybe, yeah, because I'm like, I know that pigeons are a thing. We don't have a whole lot of them out here. We have seagulls, we have
Mm,
crows, and yeah, here specifically, at least in my neighborhood, fucking
mm,
hummingbirds. And then I also get a lot of finches. But the finches are
mm.
my beautiful babies, and they're so
Yeah, bird
colorful.
babies, which would never spy on me. I feed them, I house them,
Yeah,
but yeah.
exactly. And like crows here are like the goth, like anti-government ones. So I
Uh,
know that they're not going to be
they
like
would never
in
be
on
down
it.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Mm,
I feel. Um, okay, yeah, so I'm never gonna look at a bird the same. I'll always just be wondering, is there someone seeing me on the other side?
exactly. So that is the CIA avian programs.
Wow, I am not at all surprised that our government would roll out
No,
something like that or
not
attempt
at all.
it.
Yeah,
No.
so the cat one covered it. Hold on, my dogs are fucking going ham.
Is someone at the house?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Oh, no, they didn't stop. Anyway, what was I saying?
um, cats.
But yeah, so it was called Project Acoustic Kitty. And what they did is they put like radio transmitters or something in or on cats. And they tried to train the cats to go into location so they could get audio, and it did not fucking work.
I love that.
Yeah, what you're gonna cover next time.
I do have an idea. So I actually have a list that I am doing the process of elimination on. So I have a couple of different choices. So I'm not entirely sure which one I'm committing to yet. So it will be a surprise, but I do at least have an idea. But we are always looking for new suggestions. So feel free to reach out to us on our various social media platforms. We have just about all of them. Or you can send us a good old-fashioned email at crackssistersconspiracies@gmail.com. But with that, I'm going to say stay cracked, y'all.